Multiple countries are now preparing for a full-scale war. This includes Russia, the United States, China, North Korea, Iran, Syria, Israel, and a few more. Now, we are going to address some of these countries, but in the meantime, what you need to understand is that China and the United States are now starting to prepare their militaries for an increased escalation. So I'm going to address what's happening right now. Many people are extremely concerned about what is going on because we do not have control over what happens. Right now, China is going to dictate whether or not much of the world ends up in a war. So I will address what's going on here in just a moment. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So first off, how can the rest of the world allow China to dictate whether or not the world ends up in a war? Well, China is threatening to do certain things at this time, one of which is going to cause a war. And the biggest reason why this is going to cause a war is because the United States has already said they will protect this country. Now, I want to show you a few things first, because some of these stories, these reports, well, they're concerning. But let's go ahead and get into this. So just today, China's Xi Jinping says reunification with Taiwan is inevitable. And he said this in his New Year's address. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal is because Xi Jinping continues to talk about this, continues to say that China will reunify with Taiwan at some point. We don't know when, we don't know exactly how, but they will. So the fact of the matter is that he continues to say that this is going to happen. It's inevitable. So again, this is causing tensions to increase with China and the United States. Look at this story. This is just from the other day as well. It says China tensions rising. U.S. revives World War II era Pacific airfield. Now I want to read a little bit of this article because again, this is something that is pretty important. This is a very small island. Okay, it's called Island of Tinian. And in this island, this is where we use it for World War II. This island was used, back to, against, to drop the nuclear bombs on Japan and Hiroshima or one of those. Anyway, but I want to read you this. Look at this right here. It says the statement mentioned a sense of urgency, enabling the PACF to enhance warfighting capabilities and improve deterrent posture alongside allies and partners. It did not mention China directly, though. It says Washington's plans for what officials have described as an extensive facility in Tinian comes amid a serious military pivot to the Pacific in recent years, and as China builds its own new bases in the region, including in disputed waters. Says the most comprehensive and serious challenge to U.S. national security is the People's Republic of China. Coercive and increasingly aggressive endeavor to refashion the Indo-Pacific region and the international system to suit its interests and authoritarian preferences. So that's what was said. So what we are hearing now is that this small island, which is about 1,500 miles away from the United States, this is going to be a pivotal piece because this is going to be closer to that region. Right now, we need something closer, and we just don't have it. So according to reports, the United States is going to start to implement some different strategies and try to get some airfields a little bit closer to that area of the world, so that if we need to respond to an attack, if we need to just be in the area, just have a presence in the area to prevent an attack, that is something that we're looking at doing. But in the meantime, this could also increase the tensions with the rest of the world, because now the United States is putting themselves into those regions. Again, this could be troubling. Now, this isn't where things stop, though. I want to show you a few other things as well. Look at this right here. North Korea's Kim Jong-un, he orders military to prepare for a possible war. He's now telling the military to prepare for a war. This is troubling because, again, we don't need any additional wars. We don't need any additional attacks or increased tensions across the world. We already have enough. And look at this. This is just from yesterday. Israel strikes Iranian targets in Syrian city of Aleppo. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because Israel has been the one targeting Hamas in Gaza. Well, now they're going to target Syria, the Syrian city. They're targeting Syria for attacks on them as well. Again, this war in the Middle East is rising. Just to give you an idea of how bad this was, says the attack in Syria took the lives of 11 senior Iranian military officers and injures top advisor to Damascus. These injuries, the numbers of the loss of life that we continue to see, it's staggering, because one little attack could turn into a massive problem. Okay? Again, it doesn't stop there. The other day, Russia hit Ukraine with hundreds of missiles, took the lives of over 31 people. It injured more than 150 people, but in response, Ukraine retaliated. It says Ukraine retaliates to huge Russian air attack with mass shelling strikes, according to the reports, and it took the lives of a handful of people. But here's where things get somewhat interesting. Russia is now accusing Kyiv of terrorist attack on the Belgorod civilians, because we saw more than 20 people lose their life. Okay, this is turning into a bigger problem than we were anticipating. We knew Russia was going to attack Ukraine. Ukraine would attack Russia. It would go back and forth. But now Russia is saying this is a terrorist attack. This war is far from over. According to Vladimir Putin, this war could continue for years. The war between Israel and Hamas, according to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he says that war could go on for many more months. So right now, these tensions are not going down. Tensions are only increasing. This is turning into a big problem, because right now, and just keep this in mind, if there's an issue in the world, doesn't matter where it is, it's likely going to impact oil. It will impact just global shipments. Okay, it will likely impact energy. It's going to impact just trade talks. And then you start to throw in, well, how can we protect worldwide trade? Well, just like the United States had to do in the Red Sea, and they created Operation Prosperity Guardian. Well, here's the problem. One of the biggest shipping companies in the world, Maersk, they were going to attempt to go through the Red Sea. They were going to open it up and let ships go through the Red Sea. Well, because of an attack just last night, they have decided to shut down all shipping through the Red Sea, which means one of the largest companies in the world, largest shipping companies in the world, is now going to take a longer route around the country in order to make the same delivery. Guess what? It's going to take additional 10 days to get there, which means your costs are about to increase. So, everything is going to get really interesting in 2024. We are now on December 31st, 2023. Tomorrow will be January 1st. So, just want to wish you a happy new year. But keep in mind, tensions are rising around the world. And this might not be good for any country. So, As soon as we get more information, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.